Welcome to the Naples Money Managers News You Can Use. I keep forgetting to tell people who I am, but I'm Dawn Litchfield Brown, and I have a new face sitting here beside me, sitting nice and straight and tall. There he goes. And you are Matthew Michello. Okay. I'm going to have him tell you a little bit about himself. We're going to do the usual. We'll talk a little, I have a couple tidbits for you, and we'll talk a little bit about the markets, what you think is going on. We're so happy to have some, not only new blood in the office, but some younger blood in the office. You know, mine's getting a little thick, I think. So, you know, I don't want to be too stodgy about anything. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, how long you've been here, why you're here. Let everybody know who you are.
Yeah, so I moved to Naples 2 months ago, end of May. I was a portfolio manager back home for my own portfolio. I've been in finance for a few years, and I wanted to move down here, as strange as it sounds. I just fell in love with Naples during COVID, vacationed here, and here I am.
Here he is.
So I made the jump, and it was definitely worth it.
So just so you'll know what he's doing here, most of you are used to Marcus being here. He's our senior portfolio manager. Matthew is our junior portfolio manager, which is a position we've had really open for over a year and a half, maybe a little longer, and desperately been trying to find just the right person. And I'm sure hopeful, and I believe we have now the right person. So if you do happen to call the office and can't talk to Marcus, which is, you know, sometimes it's tough to talk to the actual portfolio manager. You can talk to any one of us, but if you really want to have an interesting conversation, you'll ask for Matthew. Okay? All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit here. You'll love this one. This is about preparing for a wealth and power shift to who? Women. Did you read this?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? I was like, how did he know that? So it says, by 2030, women are expected to control more than half of the nation's wealth. And I think this is a really important thing because there's still very few females in our business. I mean, there are a lot of people in the business, females that are kind of like, I'll call it back office or research and things like that. But I think as far as who's out there putting their face out there, it's still predominantly men, which is okay, you know, if they know how to talk to women, which I think is a really big plus having somebody like Marcus and somebody like Matthew with us, because they're a different generation. You don't talk to women the same way my generation or generation before me, the men do. And I think women will really appreciate that. You know, they're a lot smarter than I think everybody gives them credit for. And we find that out, by the way, when unfortunately they become widows or late life divorcees. My favorite is a late life divorcee. Somebody's been married maybe 38, 40 years. And the husband has no clue how smart she is until the divorce. And all of a sudden he's like, I had no idea she knew all that. You know, so anyway, I love it. I love working with women. I like working with men too, but I have to admit I do like working with women. Let's see else here. It says that advisors, people like me and people like you, really need to start thinking about how differently women handle money than men. You know, they tend to be what I call cookie jars. So this pot of money pays the rent, this pot of money does this pot of money does that, and if you take from this pot, you got to put it back. And I call men potluck. They put everything in one big pot, and then they just take out what they need, and if there's some left at the end of the day, they're happy. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. 100%. Except for the client who was just here. She's very much bottom line. What's in my pot? So, okay. That's my tidbit for today. We won't talk too long, but let's talk about what is going on with these markets. We've had earnings reports, lots of tariff stuff.
Yeah, a lot of quarter two earnings that just came out this week, finishing them up, and a lot of positive news, especially in the tech sector. Meta, Microsoft, big earnings jumps. And it doesn't sound like the tariffs are really affecting some of these companies as much as we thought.
Right.
I mean, even more tariff news recently came out with the India tariff, the EU tariff, and we saw a quick dip, and then we're right back to where we were.
Right, and that's what happened early April. The markets dropped 20%, which I'm quite happy about because those 20% drops have to happen every so often. I think it's about every 5 years you get a solid one. This one wasn't really solid because it turned around and went right back up again.
Yep.
And a lot of people say this sounds like the dot-com bubble in 2001 and 2. But it's not the same. These companies make money.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. These companies are real. They make money. And did you hear about Apple?
Yes.
Yeah, they're putting another, what, $600 billion into...
Yeah, they want to make all the phones in America.
Actually,
That's what it sounds like, or the glass.
Yeah, all the covers on your iPhones are now all going to be made in Kentucky, and then they're supposed to be farming out other, but I believe the assembly at this point is still happening in China. So that part hasn't happened yet, but the stock went up so much that it's already higher than what they just committed. It's already more than $600 billion higher. So I guess that's a positive all the way around, especially if you own the Apple stock, right?
It's good stock.
Another thing I think that we've talked a lot about is the tariffs being built into the markets already, and some of these companies that are really fat and happy, let's think about that. They are absorbing some of those costs or cutting costs themselves. So right now, things are looking fairly calm compared to the first quarter.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
scary.
100%.
First quarter wasn't fun at all. And our portfolios, by the way, are doing pretty well. We're got pretty conservative in the first quarter, and then we had to kind of like change gears and rebalance everything after we saw the markets were going to solidly hit that 20% and then go back up. So we're trying now to participate more in the upside through either just the growth accounts or the covered calls.
Yeah.
Are we still getting good premiums?
Yeah, the premiums are the highest I've ever seen them.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So there's still, people are paying, and the gamblers are gambling, and
We love it. The gamblers are gambling and we're keeping their money.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. But it is the only other time that, I'm checking that out here. I can't see the other side. There we go. The only other time I've ever heard of premiums being this high was before options were regulated.
okay.
And they were crazy. They were just crazy. And then they got regulated and they got pulled back down. But anytime we see that is when the gamblers really think the market's going way up, or if the conservative people think it's going way down, they will buy puts to protect themselves. So anyway, I wanted you to meet Matthew. I want to keep calling him Mario. I don't know why. I want to keep calling him Mario. But I think he'd answer to that, would you?
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
I've been called everything but my name. So.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, we're going to try to stick with Matthew, and hopefully everybody out there is comfortable with where they are. If you're not, give us a call. As Marcus would remind me to say, please like and subscribe and send anything to anybody you want so we can have more followers. I think we have 3. I don't know what we have. I always say we have 3.
Whatever it is.
You know, whatever it is. We're amazing. So remember, most of all, money matters. But most of all, and most importantly, with us, you matter first. Have a great day.